Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Keston, and this is my top 25 comics in 2025. And if Fantastic Four #1 isn't in my top 6, you know you're in for a wild ride. I split my top 25 into 3 boxes. The first warms you up. The second, big names and classic covers. In the top tier, they start at $50,000 and go up from there. All right, at number 25, I'm going to start you off with a wild one. This is Super Magician Volume 4, number 5. You have a hooded bad guy. He's got the damsel in distress. He's got a gun pointing at her. And then you have Super Magician trying to do looks like a bolt of energy at the bad dude. For whatever reason, every time I show this book on my channel, my retention rate always spikes. People want to see more of this cover. Now let me move to something that is super rare. This is Target Comics number 8. And this book came out in 1940. Super tough. Most people have never seen this book, let alone held it in their hands. Right now, there's only 9 on CGC. Amazing sci-fi cover by Alonzo Vincent. All right, if we have any horror fans in the house, y'all know this book. This is Crime Suspense Stories number 22. It is one of the most famous covers of all time. Features a beheading. The artist is Johnny Craig, and this got EC into a lot of trouble. It was Exhibit A in congressional hearings, talking about how comic books were ruining the youth. Also missing a centerfold, or else this would probably be the next batch of books. We're going to go from horror to absolute beauty. This is Cinderella Love, number 27. This is from Matt Baker, perhaps the best romance cover artist that has ever lived. You have this ice skating scene. This is a fairly low grade copy, maybe a 1.8. Something like $1,000 in this grade. But Cinderella Love, number 25, so 2 issues before, that book runs you about $5,000 a point. So it would be about $10,000 in a 2.0. All right, let's go to a little bit more action here. We're talking about Fight Comics number 32 from 1944. Features a hooded bad guy. This time he's wearing a swastika. There's a lot of action going on here, but if you go to the back, it's really pretty nuts. There's some kind of explosion, and you actually see body parts flying around. These books I've gotten into recently. This is the old school Ghost Rider from 1950. One of the most amazing covers you will see. Tim Holt, number 17. The artist is a young Frank Frazetta. Love what he does with the Ghost Rider. This was one of my favorite covers until I saw the next book, which is Ghost Rider number 4. It came out about a year after the one that you just saw. In my opinion, one of Frank Frazetta's masterpieces and one of the most undervalued books in all of comics. This set me back about $1,200. I bought it just a few months ago. Looks great. This pink and purple, you do not see that color combination very often. I guess I'll have to go for another human sacrifice scene. This is Super Magician number 3, volume 3, number 2. Beautiful book. Damsel in distress, like kind of Greek guy going after her, and then Super Magician's got those lightning bolts coming out of his fingers. This isn't just any copy though. This is actually the Edgar Church Mile High copy. All right, y'all might be saying, Keston, you've done all these weird, obscure books. Show me something I know. Okay, this is probably a little bit more familiar to everybody. We're talking about Avengers Comics number 1 with the folks we all know and love. Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Ant-Man, and the Wasp. Of course, you got Loki, who is in the foreground. Really cool book. This is about a 2.5, and it's actually the UK price variant. So really rare, but cheaper than the US version. We are starting to come to the end of box 1. This is covered by Alex Schomburg. This is not the last time you're going to hear his name. Absolutely beautiful, good girl book from 1969. You've got Judy of the Jungle riding a phoenix. All these parallel lines. This is the Okajima copy. Great book. In fact, I had a 9.6 copy of this book as well. Honestly, the 9.2 Okajima was just better. And rounding out our first box is another Alex Schomburg airbrush cover. This is Thrilling Comics number 63. Beautiful jungle scene with Princess Panther. Got an elephant and a tiger in the background. What makes this book so nice is it's a 9.6. This is actually the nicest copy in the world. All right, y'all, it is time to step up a class. We are moving to box number 2, and this is number 14 overall on our list. Catman Comics number 31 came out in 1946. This is by L.B. Cole. Sadly, this is the only L.B. Cole book in my top 25 right now. But you've got Catman holding Kitten, wolf surrounding him. It's in the snow, Dr. Macabre in the background. Classic as classic gets. Had a better copy, sold it many years ago. Every day it haunted me not to have it in my collection, so I got this nice 7.0 copy. Coming back to the basics again, and we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 1 at a 3.5. It is not Spider-Man's first appearance, it's his second appearance, but it is his first in his own comic book. Love this FF crossover, one of the favorite books in my collection. At number 12, we have a really cool book. This is More Fun Comics number 69 at a 9.2. This is a world-class copy. The dark greens, the yellows, the reds, you can tell they just pop. For a book that came out in 1941, really tough to find them in this kind of condition. And something about old school Dr. Fate really does it for me. Now, this book has a very humble grade. It is Scoop Comics number 2 at a mere 1.0. Page quality, you might ask, brittle, so that ain't good. But just look at that cover. The eye appeal for 1.0 is out of this world, and this book set me back over $10,000. This is a classic cover, love it, and ultra rare. There are 19 on census right now. Most copies are low grade, as is this one, but the cover appeal really does it for me. Oh yeah, and from the collection of John Burke. John Burke is like my collector hero. Okay, we're now in the top 10, and what a lovely way to go into the top 10 then with 7 Seas Comics number 4. This is a Matt Baker book, one of the most beautiful covers ever drawn. Underwater scene, I just love it. My wife's favorite book as well. Our friend John K. Snyder III, he did a cover recreation for us, and I'll show that to you too. All right, now we're starting to get into even bigger hitters, and this book comes in at number 9. It is Showcase Comics number 4. Y'all know the one. First appearance of the Silver Age Flash. Barry Allen running so fast that he burst out of the film. A book that frankly I sacrificed a lot for, but I'm glad I finally have it in my collection. And this is what I opened with. So we've got Fantastic Four number 1. I've got a nice copy, a 6.0, came out in 1961. A couple things I like about this book. Very little Marvel chipping, you can barely see it. Also, no blemishes in the monster's mouth. Big plus for me. There's a little bit of overspray here, but otherwise, a nice looking copy. It's number 8 on my list. What is number 1? None other than the king of this Silver Age. We're talking about Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man. Y'all know that. Really nice copy, 3.5, fun cover, and that will take us to the end of box 2, which means only the Holy Grails are left. And if you like this so far, if you like seeing my collection, please do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that as well. All right, it's time, y'all. Kicking this off is Adventure Comics number 40. I've been chasing this book for a long time. It is the first full cover appearance of the Sandman. He technically had an appearance before this, the World's Fair number 1, but this is the key that everybody wants for the Sandman. It's a 5.0, and frankly, this book is tough to get in any grade. There's only 40-some copies on census. In other words, this book is about twice as tough to get as Action Comics number 1. All right, at number 5. Oh, she's a beauty. I love this book. Submariner number 11. This is a pedigree copy. It is the Rockford. In my opinion, this is the best Submariner cover ever drawn. Who drew it? My boy Alex Schomburg. I mean, just check it out. You got the Submariner. He is holding the jaws of the dragon. They're about to clamp on him. The flame coming out of the nostrils. awesome. What a great book. And 9.2, I believe there's only one copy higher. Books number 4, 3, and 2, it's hard to know which order they should go into, so I'm just going to pick one almost at random. This is Startling Comics number 49 from 1948. Amazing sci-fi, good girl book. Airbrush cover done by Alex Schomburg. Many people believe that Bender was inspired by this particular robot. I love this book. It's a 9.4 in White Mountain pedigree, world-class copy of this amazing classic cover. At number 3 is a book that even casual comic collectors will recognize. It is Captain America Comics number 1. It has the first appearance of Cap, Bucky down there, not shown. The Red Skull, who is shown, is Hitler. And of course, he is getting hit by our man Cap. It's pretty hard to have a better introduction of a superhero than this book right here. All right, number 2. Way back in the day, I traded Detective Comics number 31 for this book. And you know what? I am totally happy that I did. This is More Fun 54, the third appearance of the Spectre, and the best cover that has ever been drawn of the Spectre. Came out in 1940, Nova Scotia pedigree. If you can see that little M in the corner, that's the telltale sign of it being from the Nova Scotia pedigree. And let's move to my number 1. Fortunate to get this book about 12 years ago, and it's Suspense Comics number 3. This is the most expensive non-superhero comic in the hobby. Pretty rare, only 40 some copies out there. 2/3 of the copies are like at a 2.5 or lower. My copy is a 7.0, the Crowley pedigree. There's only 3 books that grade higher. This book, not every comic book collector knows about it, but most serious collectors, this is usually on the top of their want list. It's just a cover that you can stare at all day, and you can learn a lot of things from it. One thing that I learned recently is that if you look at the bad guys at the bottom, just see how they're red, and if you go to the left, they turn to blue. But then if you look at the landmass behind them, on the left it's red, and then it goes over to blue. So this is a really smart move by Alex Schomburg. This is truly his masterpiece, although he has many other sub-masterpieces, if you will. This is his best. But what a great move, because it shows that contrasting color. That's only one little detail among many, many mysteries of this book that make it valuable. If you want to learn more about the deep, dark mysteries behind Suspense Comics number 3, then check out this video. If you're out there, if you have a comic book collection, if it's relatively new, if it's mature, it doesn't matter. Why don't you get out there and show everybody what you got? Thanks so much for watching, my friends, and I hope to see you around real soon.